Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Sciria. That's Robert Harding. And this is the Citizen Pick 6 NFL Picks weekly video for Friday, January 16th, 2015. Conference Championship Sunday. 2 games. That's it. That's it. I know you want more. We had 4 last weekend. We had 4 the weekend before that. We had 16 the weekend before. I know, it's getting to the end.
The weekend before
I know. So, anyways. So, we've got 2 games today, the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game. We'll recap the standings. Robert was 3-1 last week.
Not bad.
And I was 3-1 last week, because we all picked the same games. So, I still have a 5-point lead over Robert. It's 75-70. Now, what did we say these games were? 3 points?
Yeah.
Okay, 3 points each.
Makes sense.
All right, so we'll get right to it. The first game is the NFC Championship game, Green Bay at Seattle. This is how the season started, and this is how the last NFC game of the season is. This is how it's going to end for this conference. So, I'll tell you, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I want the Seahawks to win. They're going to win. They have the best defense. Yes, they did beat Green Bay. You want to think that Green Bay would be pretty motivated, that having played Seattle one time, they would maybe have an idea how to beat them and everything. But Aaron Rodgers is still a little hurt with that injury, and I think Seattle, they're peaking. I mean, I think they're playing their best football of the year easily right now, and I like them to win. Although I think it's going to be close. I know they're about a 6.5 to 7-point favorite. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it'll be a 4-point Seattle win. I like the Seahawks to go back to the Super Bowl and a chance to defend their title.
Taking the Seahawks as well.
All right.
Fits nicely with my Patriots-Seahawks Super Bowl prediction, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, this team, they're playing well. They started playing well at the right time. They closed the season on a strong note. They've played well throughout the playoffs, or at least the divisional round. And, it's just tough to see a scenario in which Green Bay goes into Seattle and beats the Seahawks. Yeah. It's not impossible.
No.
We've seen teams do it.
Right.
Dallas did it this year. But, the way the Seahawks have been playing, it's a playoff game. That crowd's going to be loud. I just don't see it happening. And with Rodgers' bad calf, I think if he was healthy, it might be a different story.
Absolutely.
But, that's always a question mark.
And the thing about Seattle is they're not going to beat themselves.
Yeah.
That's really the only way that Green Bay has a chance in this game is if Seattle makes a lot of mistakes, penalties, turnovers. I just don't see it happening. This is a team that's just very motivated. I think that the early season slump they had, I think maybe they were 3-3 at one point, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that just kind of was a wake-up call. We're like, hey, you know something? We're not just going to waltz back to the Super Bowl. We're going to have to play our tails off to get back there, and that's what they've been doing. So we both like the Seattle Seahawks to win the NFC title and go back to the Super Bowl. Now to the AFC. This is really an interesting game on paper for a couple of reasons. Indy at New England. New England has crushed Indy the last few times they've met, and they've run the football. I mean, they basically just run the ball all over Indy, okay? And they've done a decent job of thwarting Andrew Luck, and that's not an easy thing to do. So the Colts go in. Again, they're about a 7-point underdog, 6.5-point underdog in this game. And you're wondering, could Andrew Luck carry the Colts by himself? Could he just pick them up and do this all on his own? I don't think so. And the other thing is, the Colts defense, it's not that great. I mean, it's good. It's one of the better defenses in the NFL, but it's not that great. And Tom Brady, again, I think him and Belichick, they got a chip on their shoulders, okay? They have not made the Super Bowl in a few years. They haven't won one in 10 years. A lot of talk. Remember the beginning of the season. Oh, the Patriots, it's time to move on. It's time to make a change at quarterback, put in Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, I'll tell you, I think that motivated Tom Brady. And I remember that in the second half last week, they didn't run the ball one time. No. They threw every single play. I don't think they're going to do that this time. I think they know that they have to be a little more balanced on that side of the ball. And I think they're going to run the ball more. But I still can't see New England losing this game to this team. If they was playing the Ravens maybe, or another team that, maybe the Steelers, some team that really runs the ball well, maybe they could beat the Patriots. But to me, the Colts are one-dimensional. They can't run the football. Trent Richardson, I think one of the worst trades in NFL history. And I like the New England Patriots to get to the Super Bowl to play the Seattle Seahawks. And we're both taking, there we go.
Nice prediction there, Chris. When I made this prediction early in the season, I thought, in terms of the Patriots, the Patriots were kind of the big question mark. Seattle, they had all the pieces there.
Right.
They didn't have any major losses on their roster or anything like that. But, with the AFC, there were some different factors. Obviously, you have Denver with Peyton Manning. You have some other teams. Look at the AFC North. 3 teams made the playoffs. Baltimore, of course, and Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, always factors. And, of course, you have Indianapolis. But, the Patriots just stuck out to me. With Brady and Belichick, they've been able to do it, successfully for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And this year it just seemed that, some pieces fell into place for them. Not only were they able to, have a balanced rushing attack, they could plug in anybody, something they kind of picked up on late in the season last year. Brady, had his early season slump but got over it. But then the defense.
Yeah.
Quietly. They're not a Seattle. They're not, what San Francisco used to be, when the linebackers were healthy. Not even, going back to Baltimore's heydays. But they get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're able to minimize the effect that opposing offenses have. Look at what they've done in the playoffs so far. So, I'm picking them to beat the Colts. I do think, though, that if there is going to be one of these road teams to win, it's going to be the Colts.
Yeah, I just think, because you could just see Andrew Luck getting hot.
Yeah.
And just throwing 5 or 6 touchdown passes, something like that.
Plus, look what they did last week. Walked into Denver.
Yeah,
Denver had beat them. Denver had beat them
Yeah.
early in the season. Patriots beat the Colts early in the season. They walked into Denver and just outclassed. And it wasn't even a Peyton Manning thing.
No.
A lot of attention's been paid to Peyton Manning,
bit.
but they didn't run the ball. Denver, and the defense. Where were they?
Yeah,
So-
I give Indy's defense credit. They did a great job of stopping the run. Now, I think Denver only had about less than 100 yards rushing. And
Yeah.
again, I'm trying to scratch my head why Denver didn't try to run the ball more. It was a close game to the end, but I think Peyton Manning. I think the Colts defense did a good job on Peyton Manning. But again, Peyton Manning was 100%, and I think that was a part of the game. Not all of it. I'm not going to say that the guy is over the hill or anything. But when you're not healthy, and we know that with Aaron Rodgers, it does affect you. So. But yeah, I think it's going to be New England and Seattle in the Super Bowl, which is going to be an awesome Super Bowl. Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick. It's going to be great. So, anything else you want to add about this upcoming weekend, Robert?
No, it's going to be hopefully some good football. Hopefully some good games. The spreads certainly don't have confidence in that they'll be good games, but you never know. This is respective conference title games. Super Bowl's on the line. Players tend to take it to a different level.
Yeah, and
so
and again, you don't know. Tom Brady might throw 5 interceptions. Highly unlikely, but you never know. So, well, that's it, folks. We're going to wrap it up for this week, and I guess we'll do a video next week. Actually, we're going to do the Dolphins-Bills off-season so far video.
It's a good week to do it.
It's super. That little bye in the middle there, that's kind of a good one. And the Dolphins are doing stuff or not doing
Chris
stuff.
didn't want to do a Pro Bowl preview.
No Pro Bowl. No, what? Team Irvin versus Team Carter?
We could draft Team Harding and Team Sciria.
I don't do fantasy football. You know that.
Well, it's not fantasy football.
I know.
You're just picking your Pro Bowl team. If you were an NFL Hall of Famer, which Pro Bowl team would you pick?
It's a glorified exhibition. Look, the guys who should be playing in the Pro Bowl aren't necessarily playing because of the Super Bowl or because they're hurt. So it's fantasy. With that in mind, folks, this is reality here. You're watching real live people. We're not holograms. We're really here, even though we're on video, but we're here. And we will see you next week with our special Dolphins-Bills off-season so far. How are our teams doing? Until then, we'll see you next week.